So here we are, another day, Radio Row, Super Bowl 51, Houston, Texas, Ranieri and Z-Mac on 640 Fox Sports South Florida. And we are pleased and honored to have in front of us one of the finalists for this year's Hall of Fame class, one of the all-time greats, Jaguar great, offensive tackle, Tony Boselli. Tony, thanks for stopping by, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Future Hall of Famer.
Let's hope so. I appreciate it. I'll take it.
Yeah, well, we're going to get to that in a minute because I'm looking at the list and the final 15, and all are deserving.
Sure.
They're all deserving.
Absolutely.
But why don't we let the linemen in first, who create all the opportunities for everybody else behind them. When Joe Jacoby and Tony Boselli get in, then you can let everybody else in. That's the way I look at it.
I'd like you to be in the room then.
Yes,
I need to get you on the committee.
We need to be. We talked to James Lofton earlier, and he's like, I got to vote. I'm like, well, then let me hear you vote before we go any further with this interview. Because if it ain't Boselli and it ain't Joe Jacoby, I don't know what you guys are doing here, man. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't. The guys like Terrell Davis and those, it all starts up front, man.
See what Alex Mack is doing this year for the Falcons.
Well, I think he's one of the biggest free agent acquisitions. Definitely. I mean, you look at the difference of that team and the way they are pass blocking better, the run game, getting Freeman and Coleman going. Yep. I mean, it's a huge difference. Yep. I mean, Dallas Cowboys, you look at that offensive line there. Yeah. I mean, the reason they were so successful this year. So, I mean, if you can't block him, you can't play.
No, and his name escapes me, unfortunately, but on the other side of the ball, people have said that the greatest offseason acquisition for the New England Patriots was they brought back their offensive line coach.
Dante Scarnecchia.
And that made all the difference in the world. It's crazy, right?
You got Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, all these guys. What was the most important thing that got you the Super Bowl? Dante Scarnecchia. Who? Who's that? He's the line coach. Oh, give me a break. But it's true.
They are saying it's like night and day having him in the locker room.
He's a great coach. I mean, he is because so much of coaching is being a teacher and what you're doing on the grass and getting those guys and scheme-wise, but also getting the room right. I mean, that meeting room is critical, and the mentality and the attitude that guys bring to work every day and how that translates to the practice field that ultimately translates to the game field.
Yep.
It's one of the most overlooked things in all of sports, and the position coach is the guy who dictates that.
And it's also one of the hardest things that we see, especially being a new head coach in the NFL. Dan Quinn came in and a lot of people think one of the best things he did was bring in Kyle Shanahan and said, hey, listen, I need somebody. I'm a defensive guy. I need somebody to be able to take Matt Ryan to the next level, and that's exactly what he's done.
It's interesting because you're right. This year they're saying that. But remember last year when they were struggling, it's like, Kyle Shanahan, Matt Ryan will get along. You hear all these rumblings. It's amazing what winning does.
Yeah, when things are good. Yeah,
you know what winning? I always say winning's like a good gravy. You can put it over any piece of meat and it's going to taste good. Right now, that gravy that Kyle Shanahan's serving up because they're winning, and he is a great coach, and he'll be the 49ers coach next year, and he'll do a great job. And what I think what makes Dan Quinn such a successful coach so far is some of what he learned from year one, some of the changes. They moved some things around his staff. They added pieces where they needed to in Mac. Got Vic Beasley going. I mean, Mohamed Sanu, they understood last year that they were really one-dimensional with just Julio Jones. They add Mohamed Sanu.
Yep.
Get a guy like Gabriel, who somehow the
free
Browns
agent
cut.
amazing, right?
Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
And so you look at the pieces, and I think why Kyle Shanahan's going to be a good coach is because he learned from year one.
Yes.
I mean, there was some, things going back and forth, and he looked at what they have, and, I don't think it's a great coach if you just have one system. This is what we do, and I'm going to do it no matter what.
Yep.
Great coaching is when you take the pieces you have and then take the philosophy you have and meet the two together. Yep. To allow your players to be successful. And that's what's happened this year so far.
And you have to allow it to breathe and evolve, and you have to be willing to evolve. And the guys like Nick Saban and why they're on top for as long as they are, Pete Carroll's, the Bill Belichick's of the world.
Or Tom Coughlin, for instance.
There's a reason why, because it's not always that, this is always the way we did it. These guys adapt, and they go, we got to change this. We're not going to win with this anymore.
Well, if you say as a coach or a general manager, this is how it works, and this is the only way it works. Well, guess what? You'll be good.
You're the Browns.
You'll be good. You'll be good during that short period of time when it works.
Right.
And then when it's not working, you're going to stink.
Yep.
Instead of you say, this is our philosophy, and this is how we feel the culture of our building needs to be, and this is the type of players that we want in the makeup. And then once we get this team, you know what? This is what we're good at. So we're going to take these philosophies, and we're going to build around them.
Yep.
And we're going to do this. And there is nobody better at that than Bill Belichick. You go look at a Patriot team, and what they do offensively and defensively, it's not just different year to year. It's different week to week.
Or even in-game adjustments.
They have the ability greater than anyone else to look at a team's strengths and weaknesses and then fit their game plan to beat it. And look at their offensively. 1 week, they'll come out and throw it 60 times.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, they're a spread team. The next week, they run it 60 times with LeGarrette Blount. Oh, they're a power football team. No, they're both. You know what they are? They're good.
Yeah. And they adjust to what you're doing. So whatever you were doing good in the first half, I promise you in the second you won't be doing it that well anymore.
Very well coached.
And you don't see that a lot in the NFL anymore. And it all has to do with coaching. And
well, there's one thing, too, that he gets the benefit of the doubt about. You know what that is?
What's that?
He's the greatest quarterback ever.
Yeah. It helps.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
So if you have I don't even know who the Browns quarterback is right now, but
it could be you if you keep talking.
Yeah.
It could,
RG3.
yeah, it could be
You think they have the ability to go
Josh McCown.
We'll go Miami. You know, Tannehill's an above-average quarterback.
Absolutely.
He's a top 15. But do you think Adam Gase has the same flexibility that Bill Belichick has to go in at halftime
or
Josh McDaniels and make 15 different changes and tell the quarterback we're going to do this, this, and this?
No.
And nothing against Ryan Tannehill, but he doesn't have the depth of experience or being in these situations that Tom Brady does. And so it's the people say, why are they so good? Well, they found a way to get one of the greatest coaches of all time with one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time and pair them together. That's why they're so good.
15 years, a lot of experience under their belt together.
That's a long time for a dynasty.
Long time. Tony Boselli joining us, Jaguar great offensive tackle, also Hall of Fame finalist this year. Speaking of your old coach, Tom Coughlin, came out today and said that you are without a doubt the best player he has ever coached. What does that mean to Tony Boselli to hear that from Tom Coughlin?
That's a Super Bowl winning, two-time Super Bowl winning coach, beat these New England Patriots twice.
And he's coached some pretty good players.
Yeah.
On those Giants teams, Michael Strahan is a Hall of Famer. Obviously, it's very humbling because he's the guy who picked me, number one, and he was a tough guy to play for. It wasn't always pleasant.
I mean, you started. You were the cornerstone of that organization.
And he was tough to play for.
Yeah.
And he doesn't throw around compliments he throws them around like manhole covers. In fact, I don't think I've ever. And so if he says something, he means it. And for him to say that is obviously a huge honor. And because he was on those Giants teams as a wide receiver coach. He was a wide receiver for the Packers. Obviously came to us, the Giants, back to the Giants as a head coach, won a couple Super Bowls. So he's been around a little bit, and for him to say that is very nice.
I think we've talked about it a lot, how I give the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars a lot of credit for not being a lot like other unsuccessful franchises to this point, where they're pulling the trigger every 2 years, every year and a half. He stuck with Gus Bradley as long as he possibly could. He gave him enough opportunity to either make it great or make it bad, and unfortunately it just did not work out. Are you happy with the direction they move now?
Gus was a good friend of mine, so I hate seeing anyone lose their job.
Absolutely.
And, obviously, no one does. I think some fans actually probably enjoy.
Well, the media does. Let's go this way. The media does. Yes, the media does.
But you also understand the business. If you don't win games, you're not going to be around.
Yeah.
Shad Khan is a great owner. He has given everything to that organization and give them every chance to succeed. And when it didn't happen, it was time to make a change. And the fact I like that he brought Tom Coughlin in to bring a little bit more experience, because you had a first-time head coach in Gus and a first-time GM in Dave Caldwell.
Yep.
And so you bring a guy like Tom who's been around, who's built from the ground up, who's been on Super Bowl teams, coached Super Bowl teams. I think his insight and overall leadership will be good for the organization.
I love that. And what did you think of USC this year?
After the first
after they eventually got Tom Brady into quarterback.
After the first 4 games, I wanted to throw stuff at the TV, but Sam Darnold's really dang good.
Yes, he is.
And I just want to remind all my USC alumni brethren, let's give head coaches a little bit more time, because Clay Helm, I like Clay Helm.
Oh, he was out the door. You know, he was 1 foot out the door.
No, and I liked him. And you know what? I respected what he was trying to do when they were 1-3.
Yes.
He's a good football coach. And I think it's a lesson.
He was trying not to lose the locker room.
He doesn't. I mean, he was in a tough situation.
Yes.
What was going through.
Yep.
So I like Clay Helton.
Yep.
I really like Sam Darnold.
So this is going to be a good year. This is going to be a good year. Tony Boselli is going to get inducted to the Hall of Fame. USC is going to win the national championship.
I like it.
And the
Keep on
Jacksonville
speaking.
Jaguars
Let's
are going
go.
to. You're going to get that honorary ring. Oh, it's good. It's
Let's
a good
go.
year. Thanks for coming by.
Hey,
Good luck, by
anytime.
the way, at the quarterback job for the Browns.
Thank
'cause
you
you're
very
heading
much.
over
Yeah.
there.
Put my word in.
I
Put my name
already
in.
got your vote in.
Good luck
Tony
on Saturday.
Boselli,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Good
Thanks,
luck to
Tony.
you, man. Thanks for coming by. Tony Boselli, Jaguars offensive tackle, great. Also a finalist for the Hall of Fame. We wish him nothing but the best. Appreciate it, T.
Thanks,
guys.
Tony.
Appreciate
Thanks for
it,
having
man.
me.
Thank you.